Hi, I'm Heyzeus, and look guys, I've got to have some real talk with you. I've got a really ugly skeleton in my closet, and I think I need to preempt the inevitable exposed video that's definitely coming my way and do what I can to salvage my reputation. So, during March 2018, I released a video where I stated that compared to the SG553, the AUG was like a little brother who had a fridge full on his head when he was growing up. Obviously, this is an awfully embarrassing thing to have on my public record with the current CT meta, and I feel nothing but remorse. And before you justifiably unsub for this egregious faux pas, I just want to say that I was in a really bad headspace back then. As a long-term AUG user in matchmaking, I'd been piteously mocked as being autistic for years by a relative, and it had really undermined my only real source of self-worth in life. So I felt that if I just lashed out at the AUG, things might get better, but as you can see, it's just blown up in my face. So, look, I know 98% of you have probably turned off at this point, but if you are still watching, let's check out how fucking crazy what's happened to the AUG is. Because we all know about the AUG buff. So on October 9, 2018, Valve dropped the price of the AUG from $3,300 to $3,150. A tiny change in price, right? It couldn't possibly cause chaos both in-game and on the skins market. Nah, just kidding. We all know what happened. As 3ClicksPhillip has extensively documented, during 2018, the AUG was used for all events and purposes about 0% of the time in professional level play. Nowadays, it's being used more like 15% of the time, and this is probably going to keep on growing at the expense of the M4. Now, this is only the professional scene, and it's much harder to get good statistics about AUG usage amongst casual players, but we do know that it's gone up, and it's gone up a lot, and we don't even need to speculate on that. It can be demonstrated very easily by showing what's happened with the price of AUG skins. Take the factory new AUG Chameleon, for example, a skin that I so egregiously denigrated in the past. It was $4 before the AUG buff. Now it's $11, so 175% more. There's also the factory new AUG Aristocrat, and that used to cost $2. Now it costs $6, that's a 200% increase. Minimal wear AUG Bengal Tiger used to cost $4.50, now costs $17, that's 275% more. Or finally, there's the factory new AUG Sid Mead, which has literally gone from $7 to $28, so a 300% increase in its price. So these are some pretty crazy movements, and granted, it did happen over the sort of December to February period, and that is generally a period of time when skin prices go up. They go up by about 30 to 40%, but 300%? Not so much. And the explanation is almost certainly that a huge number of people have switched to using this weapon in game, and now they want a skin for it. Now, aside from people just generally switching to using the gun, there are probably two other factors contributing to this. Firstly, there's a lack of good choices when it comes to AUG skins. In total, there's only 9 covert, classified and restricted AUG skins out there, versus 24 AKs, for example. So there's a lot less stuff to choose from when it comes to AUG skins, and probably a lot less AUG skins floating around in general, and that has probably made it a lot easier for mass demand to push the price of the AUGs up. There's also been the Major, and as 3ClicksPhillip noted, the Major marks a point where the AUG has actually taken over as the most used CT rifle, and maybe not that unsurprisingly, having hundreds and thousands of people watch stuff like Astralis going no lube on Cloud9 on Train CT side with AUGs seems to have driven people to start using this gun. Once again, the factory new Sid Mead has gone up in price about 50% since the Major started. The factory new AUG Aristocrat has gone up in price about 50% since the Major started. The minimal wear Bengal Tiger has gone up in price around 50% since the Major started. Once again, not matched by anything else on the market. Everything else has pretty much been flat, and this is probably not a coincidence. So the price has been driven up by a combination of factors: the buff, the lack of AUG skins, the Major, sunshine and roses for the AUG all around. But the title of this video made it sound like there was a looming disaster coming, and it's time I got to the point on that. You see, the AUG's rise to dominance and its role in making CSGO as a whole more CT-sided, something else that 3ClicksPhillip outlined in his video, has been so dramatic that a lot of people are expecting Valve to nerf the gun after the major, and Valve are notoriously difficult to predict, but in this case, I would be betting my left nut that the AUG is going to get nerfed at some point in the near future, and I like my left nut, it's the only one I've got left. But anyway, if Valve does decide to nerf the weapon, well, we've seen how ridiculously high the price of the gun has been pushed up to, which in turn is a good indicator of how ridiculously hard it could fall if people suddenly stop using it because it's being gimped, which, if you're holding an AUG that's worth more than just chump change, is definitely going to cost you quite a bit of money. So, should you sell your AUG skin? Well, my advice is yes. I mean, if you don't care about the value of the skin, sure, keep it. It's up to you, it's your skin. But if you do care, my advice is to sell it, because even if Valve doesn't end up nerfing the gun, most of the skins seem to have been pushed up to unsustainably high prices anyway, and seem to be slowly falling off. So, worst case scenario, you can just buy it back at a lower price in a couple of months, and in the meantime, you're at zero risk of being caught in the AUGpocalypse, and no one wants to be caught up in a disaster like that. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please like, comment, subscribe. Otherwise, trust the numbers, not your gut. I'm Heyzeus. Thanks for watching. See ya.